All right, so we are back. Court Mindset. This is the first time. Take one. So Court Mindset. I just wanted to ask you how that came about.
So I think at first I was trying to just have it be where it's about me learning, but then I think it turned into like me trying to understand other people, like how they do things they do.
Yeah.
So I think that's because when it started, it was a lot different than it is now.
So it initially started as one thing, and so how did it grow to that point where it became this whole different thing?
I think it's the people. When I started including other people, it just changed.
Yeah, I think mindset is interesting. I think mindset is the thing that kind of it's the difference in between all of us. Like otherwise we're the same. Mindset kind of can open or can inhibit, certain things. Was there ever a time that you felt like you kind of grew beyond this limit that you had set for yourself, whether it was like consciously or unconsciously, and so like what was that like?
I feel like creative energy wise, when you do something creative, if you do something that's not what you're used to, it does expand like what you're capable of doing. So like if you're a musician and then you just decide, oh, I'm gonna paint, like when you're gonna paint, it kind of does a thing where it's like, so if this is you before with like painting, when you start it goes like that. So it kind of goes like, if you're this already and you start painting, it goes like that. So now maybe you can paint and then you can still have your music thing there too, but it's like it's how you, I guess, how you use your energy. You would have to balance it out. So I think you can change what you're expecting if you put the right energy into it.
What you practice kind of changes the outcome.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, so I mean, what were some interesting mindsets that you've come across, so far in your podcast journey?
I think business people was pretty interesting. I never really thought like a business person thought creatively the way they did. Like I'm sure there is a creative side to it, but I never thought like it was that creative in the thinking of it.
Whole science behind it.
Yeah, like
there's a methodology.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that because it comes off so probably dry and like I definitely hear that. That's cool. Was there like a common theme between business minded or business mindset or business savvy or however you want to kind of put it? Like, was there a common kind of theme between them?
I think with all creative things, it's like there's that weird, I want this to be out there kind of thing. So like if you start a business, it's like if you want to be an artist or you want to be a musician, there's a goal of what you want in the end, and you're just working towards it, even if it's like changing. At least that's what I think. It's like if you want to be a musician or you want to be a dancer, it's still the same thing at the end. It's like maybe you want to be somewhere like a museum, or you want to be at like a place, but the idea is like it's different, but it's the same. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to perform somewhere or you want to dance somewhere, that's still the same kind of goal.
I guess.
So you still would have to work towards. It's like it's the same thing. It's just it's in different like aspects, so you don't think that they are the same thing. You just think they're completely different.
Right. Yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I mean, what about you? What do you think? Like, do you feel like do you feel like they're like, is there like a, have you ever like talked to someone where it changed how you see how things work?
All the time, all the time. Yeah, I mean, all the time. Maybe most recently, I mean, to the kind of the frequency. I live with my girl, and she has such a pure way of looking at things sometimes, and sometimes like staggering because it reflects how I look at things. And it's just like, oh, I didn't even consider there could even be another perspective in this sort of space. So yeah, but I mean, I open my mind to everybody who is around me because if they're around me, they're around me for a reason. So I mean, it happens all the time. I'm sure it's happened with you. I'm sure you brought a certain perspective up, and it's just like, oh, that's interesting. You know,
Yeah, no, I believe there's this whole thing too where it's like you may not. It's like you don't have to. You think you know something, and you don't. Like you could talk to someone you haven't talked to. Maybe you've talked to them like your whole life, but you've never had a real conversation with them. And when I say a real conversation, I don't mean like, oh, we're talking about like family life. I mean like a deep, like in-depth conversation. Let's say you're both talking about someone's impact on you, like Mac Miller or something, right? And then you both realize, like maybe that person goes, oh, well, when Mac died, it was like a whole thing for me because I like that Mac represented this. And then you hear that and you're just like, that's me too. But it's like we never talked about this till now. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're connected to people, but you don't know that you're connected to people because it's never brought up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you bring up Mac Miller, and for me, I think about shout out to Dope Blue. Mac Miller was his guy. My guy was Chester Bennington. When he passed away, I felt that one. That was a person voice as a voice of generations of people. And he was one of one. But truth be told, as cool as he was, there are many other people that fit into that category when they pass. Like for me, like Chester, kind of the way he inspires me now that he passed was just to really push for a certain level of authenticity, like just never give that up, because it was his authenticity that helped me as a young person, when I heard his music and had all these emotions and didn't know how to process them, didn't know what processing was. I learned about that 3 years ago, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, many people when they pass, they can inspire great things. What about you?
I think for me, I think I talked about this actually too. I think when you lose like friends, like I lost a friend last year, and it was bad at first, but now that when you realize like they would want you to do well and stuff like that, you kind of think, being that they're not there, it's like you have to keep going for them. So it's like you're taking the lessons you learned from them, like the conversations, and you have to apply it. And it's crazy because it's like, I don't know, like I recently, I want to say like on her birthday, I went to this thing like to honor her, and I just heard a lot of like stories and stuff like that, and it was really cool because it's like there's things I didn't even know I just thought like also she would tell me, and I was just like, wow, that's you see like it's like you see people in a different way, and then you find out like what's going on in their life, and you're like, it really like it changes things for you because you realize they're telling you these things that is trying to help you, but it's like sometimes they're, I guess it's like a sage advice thing. So it's like maybe they're not following it themselves, but it's like a moment they say something. It's like above them to help you. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's very interesting. It's also really inspiring too, because if you can, I think as a person, if you can step out of your own problems for a minute to help somebody else, that's an amazing goal. You know, if you're dealing with like some really tough shit, and then your friend comes to you and they're like, oh, I'm dealing with this, and you can step out of your own problems to help them. And I don't know, that feels selfless to me.
It's, even without giving it a name, like whether it's selfish or not, I know what it feels like to be, like we could imagine. Well, I personally, from personal experience, I know what it feels like to be around a person who um, is never able to get out of their problems and how unavailable they are. So there's an effect there. But when it's the other way, and we can all kind of take a moment to do that, it's just overall just a better thing. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but
It happens. These things happen.
yeah, yeah. People can inspire so many things.
And in different ways than you think too. I think it's like maybe it's not music, but it's the topic of what you sing about, or where you perform, or how you perform. It doesn't have to be like an immediate like, okay, it's gonna affect like me performing. Maybe now you see that it does affect other people, the stuff you make. So it's like instead of it being like, oh well, it was just one crowd before, now there's a whole other audience. But it took like that person to show you that other people are listening.
Yeah. Just at the end of the day, I think we all, I mean, I find myself at times just underestimating what my value is. And I think we generally may underestimate or undervalue each other as human beings because, we pass and then it's always a surprise how many people are affected. It's always so surprised. And then I just feel like it's a surprise because we don't know what our value is. And not to make it all grim, but I mean, that's just what feels like a lesson. It's like we don't know what our value is. And it's a push to really enjoy people's time, really take the time to contribute something worthwhile. And
I don't think it's grim though. I think that's what the problem is. And you talk about someone dying and someone's death. The idea is that it's sad, like crying your eyes out, and I get that. You are sad, sure, but like after like all that is past, like is it sad? Sure, but like there's good moments too. Like there's things that you get from it that maybe you don't realize. Like, maybe you reconnect with people you haven't talked to in years because that person made you realize, oh, okay, maybe I should be more open. There's lessons. Yeah. There's always a positive thing that you can get out of it. And I feel like I think that should be at least like with like if someone dies, that could be like a shift. That should be like a shift that should be happening. So where it's like it's not just negative. There's things out of it.
Yeah, I feel you. You know, like typically, us, we just on the West, like we kind of have this negative perception of death. Even that sounds funny for me to say because maybe up until now, for some people, it never occurred to them that why could they have a positive perception, you know? I mean, Eastern philosophy has a way different perception of itself, and life and death, and just even without getting into anything spiritual, I just feel like where was I going with this? I feel like at the end of the day, it all comes down to I don't know. I feel like life is like a dream. You know, like you ever have a dream and like
Living in a simulation.
but I really no. It's funny that you say that. But no, I'm serious though. Like I really feel like life is like a dream, right? And like you know how you secretly always control the dream. Like you're matter of fact the most important and vital thing that's connected to the dream that's creating the dream.
Yes.
But you're like locked off to a part of yourself that kind of like knows that. Like this higher self that kind of knows that. And the dream is a temporary space. But the laws that exist in those dreams as you know them will be as they are.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like life is a dream. Like this is a temporal reality. I feel like our dreams teach us how to live in a temporal reality. And I feel like the spirit is the thing that is having the dream. We're living in a spirit's dream. You know,
You ever sidebar, but there's a you ever do that? I think it's called lucid dreaming.
no, I've heard about it, and Meshach has told me so much about it. Oh, that's another person you need to have.
I actually used to meditate all the time.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it here because this is not the topic. But I had a situation.
Okay.
I stopped meditating because of the situation. It scared the shit out of me. But the thing is, like, to get to have like the point, it's like you have to. It's weird to like because it's all about control and being able to let go of things. So like if you're sleeping, right, and let's say you're a person who has like nightmares all the time, and it's like you can't sleep, and then maybe you start like meditating, which is like spiritual peace, right? You kind of learn that it comes from something, and it's like you kind of have to like wake yourself up in the real world to like wake up there. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be at peace, like awake, to know how to be at peace, like in your dream. And it's weird because like there's a thing where you can like control your dream, which is like lucid dreaming. It's basically where when you go to sleep, let's say something's chasing you, you know you're in a dream. So you're like, nah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then you could just go like that and it'll change into something else. I've had dreams. The point of this is I've had dreams where, I don't think I ever told you, I told me this, but I had a dream where a version of me was in the dream in like a black hoodie. And he's like, you gotta wake up. This is not, you're not supposed to be here. Like literally, like he's like, you gotta wake up. It's like,
Did you wake up?
no, I did, yeah. He's like, you have to wake up.
Took your own advice.
Because like I went to sleep and I went back to sleep. And for me and it was a second dream. I was dreaming twice. And then me in the dream, I was like running from something and this dude pulls me into like this alleyway. It's just like, wake up. I'm like, what? It's like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be, I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. I still don't get it, by the way. I still don't understand what that was about.
Well, I would tell you to invest some time looking into Carl Jung and what he believes in dreams and stuff like that. You might find some answers. Carl Jung has some really interesting finds, like as far as like what dreams could mean and the symbols inside dreams and stuff like that. So I'm a huge look. I've had dreams, and I'm not special. I know like millions of people. I feel like around the world have had this. We may not talk about it often, but where I come from, we talk about it. I've had dreams where of things happening in the dream, and then it happens in real life. You know what I mean? And it's like that's fascinating as hell. You know, that feels very counter to what I'm kind of projected about human capability. It feels very counter. It feels like that's well beyond what we think human beings are capable of. But again, it's just going to back to that theme of, you know, just on a simple level, when we lose somebody, you know, the sometimes shock of how much of a shock it is. I think in every sense that we kind of underestimate, you know, ourselves. Like,
I think what's also crazy, bringing it back and combining everything. My aunt told me this, and she said that if someone dies, my uncle died last year too. My uncle died last year, and I had a dream he actually was knocking on my window like the day after. And my aunt told me that if you have a dream of a person who's died, that's like the person coming back to you to like say goodbye.
that's definitely some West Indian shit, and that's cool. Nah, that's cool. I rock with it. You know what I
think
mean?
it's cool. I think
rock
it's,
with it.
I think it's
Yo,
cool.
it could be.
I took it as that.
It's totally possible. Man. It's totally possible. You know, we don't have anything definitive.
Yeah.
It's totally possible.
I don't know. I got closure.
Yeah.
I got a lot of closure from that. I was just like, because like I don't know, it was weird. I didn't believe it until that dream.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. But yeah, I think our fear, our perception and fear of death probably can't hold us back. You know what's another thing I feel like holds us back? You know, so I mean, earlier we talked about, you know, mindset, whether opening you up to possibilities or can close you off to possibilities, and we talked about different aspects of limiting ourselves and stuff like that. And I feel like one of the things I've learned just as a growing person, growing human being is forgiveness. First off, it's one of the most hardest things to cultivate because you don't get any sort of you don't get no grand acknowledgement from the outside. This is all inside. You know what I mean? All that work is inside. Nobody's gonna cheer you along the way. You know what I mean? You might have people that tell you more so, fuck that person. You know what I mean? So to come to a point of forgiveness, like I've learned the value of, you know, you forgive for yourself, you know, because I've definitely held grudges in my life. You know, I've definitely felt like I lost my soul, you know, from holding grudges. And when I say my soul, just becoming a person that I didn't recognize and I didn't think, or I wasn't just acting outside of who I knew myself to be, you know, at least the best part of myself to be, you know. And yeah, I had to learn in the most recent years, I had to learn about, you know, forgiveness, because holding on to these things that people may have done to us, I've learned I not only just hold on to it, but because of that and bringing it up again, it's like I attract bad things, because you attract what in my belief, you attract what the energy that you're putting out.
can I ask, because do you feel like, why do you feel like it's needed
What?
to, like to forgive, like to forgive yourself? Why do you think it's needed? Because I feel like there's people, and I'm talking about like the situations that we don't want to put anybody in. Like, let's say you're learning getting shot, and you're like mad at that person for like the rest of your life. Why do you feel like that forgiveness is like? Why do you feel like it's needed?
Because, man, it's gonna sound silly, but I know where you're at. It's because you don't want to be on a rooftop, you know, on late nights, when you should be enjoying the wealth that your parents have left
Yes.
you. You know what I mean?
No, totally.
I knew that would, because it's like,
It makes
if
perfect
you
sense.
still have this life, it's a gift. And man, I'm telling you, vengeance and all that stuff, it's a poison. My spirit can't hold it and function, that way. And the thing is, we think we have to function that way, and we don't. There's other ways to deal with and process that.
I think more people should see that, like, I think the common move, and like, I've had it too, that the common move is like, someone does you wrong, you got to do like the same thing back to them. But then there's that quote where it's like, the best revenge is success, right? So it's like, if you have someone who doesn't believe in something you're doing, and then you're making it, that's basically revenge too, because it's like, you didn't do anything to spite them, but you proved the point that you're like, and it's not to be like you're better. You do things for you, but
I hear that. The interesting thing about what you're saying is, by the time that person the person who had their mindset on revenge, right, at first, and they were like, yo, the best revenge is success, and to, do my shit. By the time they actually do get successful, they realize they don't even want revenge anymore. It's almost like a trick, to like refocus, because the problem is, you could be spending time building yourself up instead of being focused on this negative kind of thing.
yeah,
You know,
you could be missing a lot of things you don't realize you need.
Yeah, and
You could be also, like, it could be this whole thing where you're so focused on this one person, when there could be someone around you, like, maybe you don't even know, maybe the other person around you who you're not talking to could be someone in your life that is a lot better than the person you're like focused on.
Oh, I've had that.
So it's like,
we have a plan and God laughs. You know what I mean? Like, I've had that happen plenty of times where, you really, I feel like, in order to be, look, the spiritual kind of journey I'm on, you have to be humble, and, like, I've been learning this thing where, I pray on most mornings, and I've been learning to expect my prayers to be answered, just not in the way that I think they're gonna look like. So I just expect to see them kind of unfold in my days. And I've learned, when I take that approach, I have seen them. And I feel like it's because I didn't have a preconceived notion of what that blessing was gonna look like. I allowed myself to like see it and then take advantage of it.
isn't it a big thing too? I know I don't really get into this stuff, but isn't a big thing with like dealing with like religion and stuff, to not know what the outcome is going to be like?
Right, because faith is based on.
Yeah, because it's like, you don't know what that means. It's like, you want to be a painter, but you don't know how you're going to be a painter. It's just, you're just doing the stuff, and then you get an opportunity. Maybe that's the thing. It's just, as you know, this is me looping back.
Yeah.
Looping back. Yes. Try to stay on the thing. Hold on. Yes, okay, I remember. Maybe that's just you being open-minded to the situation. See that little spin back.
Who had that movie, Spinner?
Okay, to you. But yeah, when it's like when you're open-minded to things, it's a lot easier. Ever saw the video of Vince trying to do a spinner? They try to get Undertaker to do the spinner.
Was he able to do it?
He didn't do it. He's just like, no, I'm not. It's just like
he didn't even try. Oh, it was so awesome. Nah, at this age, he probably couldn't do it. You gonna fuck something up, Undertaker? Yo, isn't my man Ric Flair about to wrestle?
He already had his last one.
He had it. How was it? Did you watch it?
I saw a highlight of it.
How was it?
He won his match.
How did he look? Did he look like a regular person wrestler?
I didn't fully see it, but
you know what?
He trained. Like,
we're just gonna keep it there, bro.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, guys, I don't want to disparage Rick. I don't want to do that to Rick.
We're just gonna keep that one there. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ric Flair, and I mean the guy's an icon. He's a legend. Ric Flair. Man,
16-time world champion.
16-time. I've been watching so many podcasts with him. He is just a treasure of wrestling, just culture and knowledge. And
they asked him if John Cena was going to be his record.
If John Cena's gonna what?
It's going to be his record. John Cena's 15 champion. And Rick was like, they're not going to give it to a part-time. So,
Rick could say that. He's put some years in, bro.
Yeah.
Part-time is different to Rick.
So
Rick could say that.
To me, it's like kind of funny.
That's funny.
And it was funny to me when I heard that.
Yeah, that's funny.
He's saying it'd be better to give it to Randy. Because Randy's on that list too. I think Randy's like 14.
Yes? What is Rick? What Rick put up? 20 or something?
16.
Rick put up 16 years?
No, Rick. Wait.
What, no, I'm talking about years.
In wrestling?
Yeah.
Years. Wow. Way long.
Way long, right? Okay. Nobody.
Yeah. John Cena just hit 20.
20 years as far as wrestling.
Rey Mysterio just hit 20. Yeah, Ric Flair is like
7.
Ric Flair's been wrestling for a very long time.
It's crazy.
From the first match to last match, it's been a while.
Fan, man. Huge fan of Ric Flair.
Yes. But yeah.
So what's been going on with you as far as like creative? Like what do you got going? You got some Patreon stuff? You got some what's good with you?
A lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff all at once. This podcast stuff. Have a Patreon. I don't really market there. I should.
What's the Patreon?
It's just like insight to being an artist for me.
Okay.
It's like, I do like tutorials and behind the scenes stuff. It's just where it's like anyone can be an artist. Basically, I try to promote that where anyone can be creative. Anyone can do something. So at least that's how I see it. I feel like that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Anyone can do something creative. You don't have to draw, you can do other stuff. And it's just to like have people be creative so they can see like the stuff I do. And then I do like tutorials on almost everything. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why? You know, I really like that because like there's so many people that don't think they can be creative at all. You know, my father actually, which is really cool, during the pandemic, this guy just decides to become a painter. You know, he started, yeah, he started painting here and there, and before you know it, one man's painting the Haitian flag, he's painting UFOs. It's really cool things. It's awesome, man. So I love platforms that kind of encourage you, that everybody's a creative, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
It's about finding what you do that makes you like, I don't know. It's just finding what you do that makes you happy. That's what I see it as. So, like with the tutorial stuff, I try to do things that anyone can use. One of them is like how to frame a photograph, and it's not even where it's drawing. It's like just okay. You have the subject, you have the background. Teaches you about thirds. Teaches you about all these other things that if let's say you're out and you want to take a picture with your phone, you have a little bit more knowledge in it. Do something cooler than going, standing in the center of the frame.
Yeah, and knowledge is freedom, folks. That's 100%. Knowledge is freedom. Definitely learned something and made me feel like I had other choices in life. So, yeah. I'm just saying that because your boy about to go back to school, massage therapy. I'm excited to. I'll be taking Reiki as one of my courses. Have you ever heard of Reiki?
I have.
Yeah. You all right?
But yeah, not for the Reiki. It's a very spiritual thing.
Yeah. I've done it twice maybe. Gabby's a huge fan of it. And yeah, I'm gonna learn about it. I'm gonna be learning so many things. It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be awesome.
So what made you want to do that kind of thing? I feel like that's a very specific thing to go to school for.
Yeah. Well, I'm very blessed to have a partner that I have. Like, she sees things in me that I can't see at times. So she kind of suggested it, and I was just like, I don't know, but we kind of spoke about it, but I just had a really just to keep it short. I had a spiritual experience that kind of asked me, like, I don't know, like in life you can build or destroy, so with your hands, what do you want to do? You want to build or you want to destroy? And it's like with massage therapy, I can help heal people, with my hands,
We can also help them recover from things too, like injuries, other things. Like if someone sprained their ankle, maybe they haven't been able to walk right on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's like very much in line with me. I want to use my hands to heal. I want to use my hands to build. That's what I want to do in this world. I feel like, you can build or destroy, and I'm trying to consciously make the decision to build, and that's what I'm gonna do.
So you're saying everyone can get these hands?
I'm saying everybody can get these hands. To Jake Paul.
Oh no! Yeah. If Jake Paul does watch this, then why are you here, buddy?
I hope Jake Paul does not call me out. He's like 200 something pounds, but I'm good. We take the stick
200 something pounds?
We take the stick out for that.
I didn't know it was that big.
Okay. It's crazy.
Holy shit. Yes. I can take that part out.
No, that's hilarious. Don't take that out.
It'll stay, it'll stay.
That's so funny.
Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So, getting back to it, do you feel with like forgiving, right? Do you feel like there's what? How does that help you in your process of being creative?
Well, me being creative, forgiving, and forgiveness and creativity. First off, my creativity flourishes when I process emotions. So forgiveness is a process. It's a process of getting back the you that you were before you were hurt. You know what I mean? Because we somehow get hurt in the kind of mold that we were in, and we kind of throw the as they say, the baby out with the bathwater. And it's like not everything about your approach was terrible. Like it's just how we get hurt. So forgiveness, can open the floodgates and let you see things in ways you haven't seen it before. Forgiveness really has just helped me learn just the different ways that I can live myself when I'm hurt. And
So like growth.
yeah, because it's just look, I remember times of having my existence and just hating, so like just blaming just the results of my life or what I felt about my life just on one person or on a couple people, just holding on to that, just holding on to like all the negative that they did to me. Like I used to use a lot of that to fuel me, to fuel my projects, to fuel a lot of things. And I'm to the point where I don't really even need that more anymore, because it gets to a point where I don't know, it's just like there's a toxicity level. And then for me, it's just like once I forgive, I just learn how limited I was. And forgiveness overall, I think, is just important for the species. Shoot, I think forgiveness is very important for humankind, because I think evolution is very ugly, or it can be very ugly. It's not this pretty thing. People are gonna get hurt. I don't think I just think that's how it can play out. And we need something beyond the cause and effect, kind of like mindset. You heard me, because we gotta forgive each other, and we gotta be able to learn to forgive ourselves, so we can grow past certain things.
Yeah, I feel that too. I feel like if someone hurt you, right? There's two sides to it, right? There's the person hurt you, but then there's the you that's hurt to yourself. So it's like, well, you could easily forgive a person for hurting you, but it's like, can you forgive yourself for getting hurt? Because then, maybe now that person, you forgive that person, maybe now you're blaming yourself. And then you're like, all right, well, you know what? I'm just gonna shut myself out. I don't want anyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone destroyed my trust. So you know what? Now no one's gonna get my trust. And it's like, that's not the best way to do anything. It's like, it doesn't feel good. And you need people, even if you may not think you do. You need people who do. You need support. There's nothing that you can do by yourself. No, especially if it's for a career or a job or for just like personal growth. You need other people to keep you in check.
We're just not fit to operate. Look, I think we can operate alone from the pack and with the pack too. But I feel like there's a relationship there. I don't think we're fit to. Nothing is made for us to just operate. We just have this thing where we feel like we have to survival of the fittest and stuff like that. But again, that's not really a perspective I agree with. Totally.
It's the idea of competition. Is it needed? I think it is.
I just feel like it's a what was being observed was it was a survival of the person. I don't, but I think it's survival. I think the things that survive are the things that remain in harmony, you know. And I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
people.
It goes back to things being a community over a competition, which I think we talked about before on the episode 1.
Yeah, and
Right?
I'm with the look.
It's
I'm with being fired up from somebody else to be a better version of yourself. You know, like that as competition. I'm with that, but competition where you feel like you have to take from somebody because there isn't enough, or that's something different, and that's nothing that I think we have. It's not the type of mindset I think we need. It helps to build.
But I also feel like you may not see that there's space for it. There's so much space for everything. You don't even, maybe you don't see it because you're thinking like a certain goal. But it's like you can make a song or you can draw something and maybe it doesn't get a reaction because you're showing it to people who you think will like it. But you don't know if someone outside of who you're showing will really know.
Right.
You know, I love that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you never know everything. So when you feel like you know everything, which is kind of, I feel like one of the things that college is big on, it's like they try to prepare you for things, but it's like, it's not, it doesn't tell you that there's going to be other people that will like it outside of that label. You know, it's like, it's very like, keep you like here when it should be like, and it's not all like school, but like some things, like some fields, it's like they teach you like this little square when it's in everything. You know what I mean? It's in things you don't even realize. You know, art is everywhere. You know? So I mean, at least that's how I feel. You can't really, like, you have to be open to things. But then it's like you can set a goal, but it's like maybe set the goal to have it to where, okay, there's going to be a result and you have what you want the result to be, but also be open to the idea maybe there is an alternative to it, right? So you make an album, right? Let's say an artist makes an album and the album is selling crazy where you live, right? But maybe like overseas, they love that album, right? Okay, cool. It's doing well over there. What can I do to, now that I know that, what can I do different to now maybe incorporate where it's doing well without, you know, fully changing and keeping it to what I do. Maybe, okay, I see that this audience likes it. I'm gonna now maybe include an instrument from that country into my music because, hey, they like it. So this is me saying thank you and opening like what I'm doing. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Definitely see that. That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Like, yeah, like energy could just really be, it could be so much that you don't think about. But maybe we're not supposed to think about it because that's why you have other people around who tell you these things, right?
So that's an overthinker. But maybe you're not supposed to think.
Well, I mean, I'm an overthinker, so
yeah.
I need to hear
that.
that sometimes too. It's just, it's weird. It's like, how do you can't stop yourself from being yourself, right? Well, you can adjust you could slightly adjust it to where it's not as unbearable.
I think that's how, the thing is about that. I think it's, you definitely can't stop yourself from being yourself, but I don't think you have to. And I think it depends on what you perceive as yourself. Do you perceive that the sum of who Court is an overthinker?
I don't know. I think it's like
What I'm trying to say is I think overthinking is something we've practiced or have learned to practice, but I don't think it's who we are. So it's something we could, if we put it into practice, it's something we could change.
I feel like it's that weird, like you put because of like a situation you're in. So like if let's say you're having a bad month, right? You put yourself in that position to where that's the only thing because of the situation. But I don't know. I think it's weird, but I think it's something you have to realize yourself too. It's like you can get advice on how to fix a problem, but you still have to listen to it.
Absolutely.
If you're not, you could have 8 people tell you how to solve your issue, and it could be 8 different ways. But if you're not listening to anything, or you're not doing anything they're telling you, it's just gonna go. It's just gonna go over. It's like you need to listen to it first, which is I had a conversation with a friend once where they were giving me advice, and I was like, I appreciate that you're telling me all this, and it's cool, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not asking you for advice. I just want you to listen to me ranting because maybe I have my answer and I just need a place to talk to someone about it. And it's like, I think as people, we think like that's what it is. Like if someone's telling you something, it's like, oh, well, let me give advice on it because they're telling me if they need advice, but sometimes it's just like, that's not the situation. It's just like, it's like you just need someone to support you in that moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I slid. I knew it. But yeah, get my charger in my bag. Okay. That was it. Yeah, I mean, I just think overall, I think like in a sense of everything being together, it's just like, sorry, it's the idea. It's the idea that you realize the energy you have can be used and affected in certain ways, right? It's not just one thing. It can be changed from a bunch of other things. What is that? Sorry. But yeah, it's something that can be changed or affected. It's not like a simple thing. So like even if you think it's something simple, you go into it, like let's say you want to be a musician, you want to do that. It's not just one thing. It's like you have to think about a ton of other factors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's always the thing that comes with the things that we want, right? Like it sometimes comes with more that, like it comes with elements that we had no idea were even attached to. You know what I mean? And you gotta adjust to those elements too.
Yeah.
Or those elements might be make or break. Like, oh, I might not want to do this shit anymore.
I think it all comes back to how much you want something when you do it. Like, I remember like when I was writing the first book, not this one, the one that's out, but I remember writing it and ended up like not writing the book because I realized it took writing, it took drawing, and then there's a whole other side to it where I think every author goes through it. There's that phase where you don't want to do it anymore. Like, you don't want to do it. You want to quit. And it's everyone, because it's that there's a really hard phase of when you're doing anything, you realize how much time is going into it, and you go, okay, but this has now been a year. Nothing is out, nothing is done. And I have all these other things I have to worry about. Why am I doing this? And it's like the goal is to get over that. Because once you get over that, that's when you really start working. That's when you really start putting energy into it. But it's needed. You know, it's like when you go to art school and, you know, you have the teacher, the first real art teacher you have, and that art teacher is like, you know, it's like, he or she is like, it's like, do you want to be an artist? And you're like, do you want to make money? And you see like people raise their hand and they're just like, you know, get out. Like, I've had that. It's happened to me when I went to school. I had that moment, and a ton of other people had that moment. Because the thing is, if you're doing it and you think, oh, I'm gonna be super rich, I'm gonna do it and be super rich right away, that's not how you're gonna make it. There's no way you're gonna make it. And even if you make a lot of money, it doesn't mean you made it. Just because you have money from it doesn't mean.
Well, I mean, success matters. So, you know, I mean, it depends on what success is to you. So there's some people, for them, you know, that means that. It doesn't mean that for me, and it doesn't sound like it means it for you.
No.
You know?
I think I actually started really feeling successful when I stopped caring about the money side. At least that's how I feel. Because it's like, now I know that I'm going to do it anyway. So, you know, it's like, now I know I'm not like to where if I'm poor from it, I don't care. Because like, I'm doing it because I want to do it, right? I'm using the energy smarter to where I now know it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to make money from it at some point, or I'm doing it for the long haul, you know? So it's not just a one-time 15 minutes, it's long-term, over time. I'm growing into the person that can do it and is okay with doing it, to where I know I have other things happening for me. To where it's like, that's who I want to be. That's the version of myself that is adding it to your life and not making it your life. Right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. That's like, I feel like your art should be like your martial art. You know, you go with it, you learn through it, you learn through the process of it. And many pure artists are gonna do, you know, they do it if the cameras weren't around, or if it wasn't on YouTube, or, you know what I mean, they're just artists. We are who we are, you know. Definitely get that. Um, Coming from that pure place, I think that's a great place for anybody. You know, whether you want people to know what you do or not. I think coming from a pure place is a great place to come from. You know?
Yeah. I think it's important to have that. I think it's also important to know yourself too. But I think that's a big thing we're talking about. To where it's like, hope so too. I think it's important to know yourself. I think that's where I want to like leave off. It's important to. I think it's important if you're gonna do anything to know where you stand, how you feel about it. It's like a lot of people, or I've seen like people like get a job because it does a certain part, but I think you should understand how you work and why certain things work for you. so that when something does change, it is understood, you know? Because then you will be able to forgive yourself when you know why something upsets you, you know?
Right.
It's accepting yourself. That acceptance of yourself. Right?
Absolutely. That's the light and the shadow. Be aware of both and love yourself and just try to be the best version of yourself you can be. Absolutely. So I just feel like that's what this art generally is for, but that's how I feel.
So, is there anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to shout out Quartz Mindset. It's my new show.
This is your show.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out the Unsung Warriors Collective. I want to shout out Dope RJ, Human Bien. I just want to shout anybody out who, has been following me this long. Really appreciate you. I mean, I've known some of you guys for years. Y'all might have came through, set us up in a messenger, and we got into like deep conversation about music or philosophy or whatever. I fuck with y'all. Thank you for the love, and I got more stuff to show you. Definitely support this man right here.
There's they're doing a collab actually.
Yes.
I think what I want to shout out. I actually just thought of this. This is actually. We're doing a collab right now, where it's like designs and it's like each person in the collective gets a design for it. I think it's pretty cool. We just did Jesse's, which is pretty cool.
I like it.
I was thinking, when it's over, some kind of thing, like maybe if it's a live or some kind of event where it's just like we talk about it, stuff like that. So that's what I want to. I think that's what I would shout out, from all of us, anyway. But but yeah, that's because they're all pretty cool, and some of them you might see in future episodes. So
Definitely.
there's that too. As usual, all my link tree is going to be down below, so you can see Patreon, all that stuff, and there's going to be links to Sight's music and lots of the other stuff that he's been working on. So, I'll see you guys in the next episode.